Walsh Jesuit, VASJ. This one's really interesting. Walsh 3-2, probably the best 3-2 team in the state of Ohio, facing Villa Angela St. Joe's, who has had their last two games canceled, so they're 3-0.
Yeah, we'll see if the Vikings can shake that rust. They've had an impressive start, but this will definitely be the best team they've played so far. As you mentioned, Walsh Jesuit, 2 one-point losses against Benedictine, which is undefeated, and voted number 1 in the state in Division II by the Associated Press poll, and also, of course, defending Division II state champion Archbishop Hoban. Walsh Jesuit had a chance to win that, going for 2 in a double overtime. So should be an interesting game on Friday night. You know, it's the kickoff of the rebooted Crown Conference, an old league which is making its comeback. Mostly former North Coast League teams in there. So I'll be at that one. Excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what Nick Alexander has done at Walsh Jesuit. You know, he took over a team that a couple of years ago had won one game or was even winless, and boy, they've kind of gotten real good again in a hurry.
Yeah, they've progressively improved each season win total since he's been there. Now, the question of this game, I think, is going to be Villa Angela St. Joe's size, because since Coach Jeff Rotsky's gotten there, they're quite big. They're much bigger this year than they were a year ago, and they've got some toughness. Ty Howard, a transfer over from Euclid, who played about half the season last year before an injury. He's one of those engines that really makes them go. But they will come at you with 3 running backs. A lot of depth on that team. I think, as I reported in the preseason, 105 kids out for football over at VASJ this year. Walsh Jesuit, extremely talented at the skill positions. LaShawn Crenshaw has moved over from a slot back to running back this year in place of Will Rumpel, who was lost to an injury. Of course, Christian O'Shea leads the receiving core. They got some skill guys, especially at the safety, linebacker spots. They're not the biggest team that they're not as big as they were a year ago. And that's what's going to be what's interesting to me this week is Joe's might be a little bit bigger than them, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 2 losses by identical 35-34 scores, both in double overtime. So Walsh Jesuit trying to get it done.